Hello, let's do the Netflix puzzled Starstruck for May 26th. We'll do the easy then the hard. Easy is called Sailor's Knot. So the way to play this game is in each row, each column, and each colored region, we are placing exactly one star. We also can't let stars touch, so a star here and a star here would be disallowed. So we have this. Okay, I guess the first thing to note maybe is that this column here is only indigo. We know every column places a star. We know each region only has one star, has exactly one star. And so the star that is placed by this column will also be the star that's in indigo because it's got to place it in indigo. Meaning any indigo that's not that column is also not a star. So we have some formations here that are very helpful. But first I'm going to do some lineups. So these yellows line up with these reds. What do I mean by line up? Well, I mean, let me use an actual straight line here. I mean, let's look at these two rows here. Two rows will have two stars. One row in the first, or sorry, one star in the first row. Oops, one star in the second row. I also know that yellow is going to place a star, and when it places it, it will be in one of those two columns. And I know that red is going to place a star. It'll be in these two columns. That is two stars. So that's where the two stars are going to be. Yellow will be one of them, red will be the other, meaning we cannot place any stars in non-yellow, non-red between those two rows, or in those two rows. Okay, so now let's talk about some formations here. So yellow will place a star in one of these two. Wherever it places it, it's also going to be in this column, so we can get rid of the rest of the column. And then orange also is going to be in this column, but we can also say that these two are out because they touch whichever the star is going to be in orange. This would touch that one and that one. This would touch that one and that one. So those aren't ever going to be stars. This gray is going to be in this row. We can remove the rest of the row. This blue is going to be in this row. We can remove the rest of the row. Okay. Oh, this row here. I should have seen this from the start, but somehow just didn't scan it. This row here has only one place for a star, but that was always going to be the star, because this column needed to place a star and this row needed to place a star, and wherever they did so would be guaranteed in indigo. And since indigo can't have two stars, it must be where they intersect to make that work. That's going to give us yellow and red and gray and green and orange and brown and blue. So I think that placing at that intersection would have really smoothed out the rest of the solve. But honestly, like, if you're not sitting here explaining it like I do, which that's the whole point of these videos, is to help you solve these. And so explaining different ways to approach it is good. But if you're not sitting there explaining, a lot of those X's just happen extremely quickly, and then eventually you see that, and it's fine. All right, let's go back and do the hard. It's called null. Okay, and we spell out kind of null. That's kind of an N. we'll give it to him. All right, let's apply the gray. We'll apply the orange now. Okay. This and this see all of green. This sees all of blue. Okay, so we have two rows lining up, and it's kind of a non. They're not next to each other, but they don't have to be, right? We have the exact same lineup logic that we normally have in two rows that are touching, but they don't have to touch. So we're going to have one in orange and one in yellow, meaning the rest of those rows are not going to be in. Only orange and yellow. So that affected green quite a bit. Oh, gray and blue line up. That's something I could have seen earlier. That places the green. So these line up, these line up, these line up now, and these line up now. Okay. So it's got to be something vertical then, or just a formation I didn't notice. Oh, so we know that one of these two was going to be in. That's how we did the whole lineup in the first place. And they see this gray. So this gray is never in. That places the gray. And that places the orange and the yellow and the blue. That places that one. The dark orange. What's our next step? Oh, it's this row uses one of these two, right? If this were a region, you would know exactly what to do. It doesn't have to be a region though. It can just be a row. So we remove those two. And that leaves just one in brown, one in indigo, one in red, and we're done. Okay. I think I took less time on the on the hard, but it's just because less explaining, I think. Anyway, how'd you do?